Good evening. My name is Michael Munikio, and I'll be the facilitator for the first of two Dharma messages this evening. Before proceeding, I'd like to give a brief overview of Dharmathon 2021. The Buddhist Study Center, the educational organization of the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii, presents noted national and international speakers for the benefit of its attendees. A rich source of Dharma learning and ideas is found in our own Nembutsu Sanghas. These Sanghas are made up of ministers and lay people within the state of Hawaii. Dharmathon 2021 is an opportunity to feature the ministers of the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii. This is the second of 5 sessions this week, where we feature 2 ministers each evening to share their Dharma message on the theme, Building Healthy Sanghas, Nurturing Empathy and Respect. Our first minister to speak this evening is the Reverend Kalu. He will be followed by Reverend Satoshi Tomioka at 7:35 p.m. If you do have any questions for the ministers, please type it in the chat box. They will be happy to answer your questions at the end of their respective presentations. We'll begin with our first Dharma message by Reverend Kalu. But before I turn the screen over to Reverend, I did want to provide a little bit of background about Reverend Kalu. Reverend was born in Quezon City in the Republic of the Philippines. He attended UDMC College of Nursing in Manila, as well as Brooklyn College in New York City, where he received the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. In 2008, he attended Chuo Bukkyo Gakuen in Kyoto, Japan, where he was ordained as a Kyoshi in 2010. Reverend Kalu is a registered nurse in the state of Hawaii. His hobbies include computers, playing the ukulele, writing kanji, swimming, snorkeling, traveling to Japan, eating, watching NBA games, and watching Mahini volleyball on TV. Now, Reverend Kalu.
Thank you, Michael. I'll begin by reciting the Nembutsu. Let's put our hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good evening, everyone. And I want to thank the Buddhist Study Center for the honor of inviting me to be a speaker for this evening's Dharmathon. And also to all of you for your presence tonight online in this Dharma study session. This is my first time to be participating in this kind of Dharma sharing. And I'm not so sure if I'm doing the right thing with regards to what I should talk about this evening. Anyway, I hope that all of you are in reasonably good health, given this ongoing pandemic, which doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Now, when I say healthy, it doesn't mean, health rather, it doesn't mean only physical health, but emotional or psychological health as well. We may be in good physical condition, body-wise, but if we are sad, depressed, angry, or worried about so many things, then we are really not healthy. Health and happiness are closely intertwined. It's difficult to feel happy when our physical and mental well-being are not in an optimum state of balance. That, after all, is one of life's main purposes, to be happy and to avoid unpleasantness or sadness as much as we can. Well, we have to understand that the happiness we ordinarily feel as opposed to sadness in our daily lives is what is called in Buddhism relative happiness, meaning it is transient. It is the one we look for outside ourselves, in people, things, accomplishments, and others, subject to change. Absolute happiness, on the other hand, is the kind of sustained joy or happiness that we find within ourselves. And also, this is the kind of happiness when we attain enlightenment. That is, it is not subject to change no matter what the circumstances are in the present moment. Today, however, I would like to talk about nurturing empathy and respect as the main theme of this Dharmathon. These two are interconnected. Empathy is the key to establishing both trust and respect. Empathy is different from sympathy. They are similar in concept, but their meanings aren't exactly the same. First, let's define sympathy. Sympathy is understanding someone else's suffering. It is more cognitive in nature and keeps a certain distance. Empathy means experiencing someone else's feeling. It requires an emotional component of really feeling what the other person is feeling. We can understand better the feeling of empathy when we ourselves experience the exact same experience that others have experienced, such as, for example, the loss of a loved one through death. So in other words, to feel empathy is to be closer to the other person whom we're feeling for, whereas sympathy is more distant. However, both are positive traits to be cultivated. Empathy and sympathy are different, but closely related to compassion, which is noticing the suffering of another coupled with a wish to alleviate it. And we all know that compassion is one of the two traits of an enlightened being, a Buddha, the other trait being wisdom. There are many ways to nurture empathy in us. Empathy is a learned behavior, even though the capacity for it is inborn, meaning that we have that capacity for empathy at birth. It has to be learned and cultivated. The feeling of empathy is important in our interaction with people in our daily lives. Without that feeling, we can live and work with others around us, but it is a very cold, uncaring attitude. Everyone around us would be like strangers in a crowded bus or train. We would have no idea about their inner selves and feelings. This is important because empathy makes us reflect on our behavior in thought, words, and deeds. And if we're behaving badly and the pain we are causing to others, those are ways to be aware. We can nurture empathy by being open to meeting new people. Try to talk to, for example, the person behind you in the supermarket or any public place like a park, bench, just a friendly talk story. But we should also use our judgment, of course, and not just talk to anyone whom we don't feel comfortable talking to. We can expand empathy when we talk with new people whom we have never met before. Another way is challenge our prejudice. We should put aside our biases and try to see what unites us rather than what divides us. We should stop labeling people as, for example, welfare moms, illegal immigrants, homeless, inferior third world country peoples, and so on. Because when we do so, it makes it difficult to get to know them or care about them. Another way is put ourselves in another person's shoes or situation. We gain empathy by gaining direct experience of someone else's life. Examples of that would be volunteering to help others through the many volunteer organizations we have in the state, like Project Dharma, the Red Cross, Meals on Wheels, and others. These all help cultivate empathy through experiencing the lives of people different from ours. 4. Set a good example, especially when we are parents. Children who see traits of empathy and compassion in their parents will likely emulate these wholesome traits and contribute to their positive growth later in life. Now I'll talk about respect. There are two definitions of respect. One is to be civil or polite to those we meet or with whom we interact. This is the level of respect we display to our teachers, parents, grandparents, and strangers out of polite respect. Another meaning of respect refers to our feelings towards those who merit respect through honorable living. We admire and respect their standards or commitments. For example, we respect those unsung heroes who are in the front line in this current pandemic, those who provide essential services like healthcare, security, essential supplies and services, and so on. On the other hand, we tend not to respect those who do not deserve to be respected, like people who mistreat others or do bad things to us. In this meaning of respect, we receive or not receive respect according to our actions. One very important thing we have to remember is that respect is not something that we should just expect or demand from others, but it's something that we have to earn. In my view, I deserve respect only when I have won the trust and confidence of another person. As an example, just because I wear the robes and wagisa of a minister and born in a different culture doesn't mean that I can demand people to respect me automatically. To demand respect just on that basis alone is arrogance. A person who is causing problem is often seen as warranting disrespectful treatment. That's often how we think about respecting others. However, we should also reflect on our own actions as well. We cannot justify all the time disrespecting another person with the excuse that that person does not deserve good treatment. For example, when we can just say, I can't respect my parents or teachers because they all yell at me all the time. We have to find out why they're yelling at us to begin with. It might be something we're not doing right and need to correct. Ultimately, we can treat people respectfully because they are human beings, just like us, even if we do not honor or admire their acts. Buddhism teaches that all sentient beings have the same Buddha nature. An enlightened being, a Buddha or a Bodhisattva, sitting on a lotus petal, and being suffering in a torment in hellish realms are fundamentally the same. So, what this means is that no matter how much we dislike or criticize a person, we cannot, quote unquote, forgive that person. In Buddhism, there is really no such thing as forgiveness, quote unquote. To say that we forgive implies that we are right and the other is wrong. At first glance, this statement is difficult to grasp. After all, sometimes others do to us something we don't like, and we label that person as in the wrong for having offended us. But if we reflect deeply, we realize that it is the action that is unwholesome and not the person himself. The judgment we do, if we ever feel the need to do it, is judgment for the action, not the doer. The true fundamental nature of a being is the same, that of Buddhahood. But an act is unwholesome because the person who committed the act is ignorant of the consequences of his actions. So, what should we do then to address the issue? No matter what a person has done, we should still respect him like a Buddha, or at least recognize the potential for enlightenment and Buddhahood. This is fundamental in Buddhism. The story of the Buddha's cousin, Devadatta, is an example. Devadatta was initially an intelligent student of the Dharma and had many great abilities as a follower of Shakyamuni Buddha. But over the years, he became increasingly driven by jealousy and ambition and plotted to take over and lead the Sangha. He was sharply rebuked by the Buddha and so started to devise schemes to harm or even kill Shakyamuni Buddha. One time, rolling a huge rock that injured the Buddha's foot and causing it to bleed. Another time, he mixed alcohol to an elephant's drink, causing the animal to charge towards the Buddha. Given this behavior, Devadatta was viewed in pre-Lotus Sutra teachings as a man of supreme evil. But in the Lotus Sutra Devadatta section or chapter, Shakyamuni Buddha reveals that in a past life, the same evil person has been his teacher, saying that the fact that I have attained impartial and correct enlightenment and can save living beings on a broad scale is all due to Devadatta, who was a good friend. In other words, despite Devadatta's wicked actions, he was still viewed as a Kalyana Mitra, a Senjishki, or a good friend and teacher. The Buddha did not lose respect for his devious cousin, despite his evil schemes, but instead recognized his potential for supreme enlightenment. In essence, Buddhism teaches that evil and good cannot exist in isolation. Both exist in life, and thus people are not intrinsically good or intrinsically evil. Even a supremely noble figure like the Buddha possesses the nature of evil, and even a great villain like Devadatta possesses the Buddha nature. This is the concept of the oneness of good and evil. Our chief obstacle to enlightenment, delusion, is the mental quality we have the hardest time detecting in ourselves. When we're deluded, we don't know we're deluded. So the wise approach is to show respect to the insights of others in the event that their insights may help us see through our own ignorance. After all, intention and attention are immediately present to the awareness as well. Their insights may be just what we need to cut through our obstacles that we've created for ourselves through our own acts of ignorance. Most people think of respect as something that is accorded to themselves. Those in power or authority expect to be respected as their due. But true respect is reverence for the sacredness and preciousness of each other and every living being, regardless of their rank. To nurture respect for others means to renounce all claims to superiority, power, or authority over others. The person who claims superiority or authority over others cannot be a person of respect. Only the humble person who realizes that his or her own existence arises only from the help of others can truly respect others. To nurture a healthy and harmonious Sangha through the cultivation of respect and empathy, my take is that we should always remember Shinran Shonin's concept of Ondobo Ondogyo, meaning fellow travelers, fellow brothers and sisters, the equality of all followers in the face of universal truth and compassion. There should neither be a master nor a servant in the Shinshu Sangha, ideally. We are all the same before the eyes of the Buddha, imperfect and enlightened beings. The respect we afford to each other, minister or layman, should be equal and not imbalanced in favor of one side or the other. And not only within the Sangha, but outside as well. As Buddhists representing the largest group of Japanese Buddhism in Hawaii and in the mainland as well, the Jodo Shinshu community has no place for bigotry, racial and doctrinal intolerance, dogmatism, exclusivity, and close-mindedness. Respect for other religions, religious groups, and beliefs is not only the Buddhist way of doing things, but it is also essential for maintaining peace and harmony in an increasingly polarized world. The ideals of equality, mutual respect, empathy, and compassion that are at the core of most religious teachings, these ideals are meant to be practiced in real life and not merely uttered or mentioned in services or sermons. Summing it all up, both empathy and respect are interrelated. Communicating genuine empathy allows the other person to feel respect, accepted, and understood. Empathy is key to establishing both trust and self-respect, which can be defined as showing due regard to the feelings, needs, or rights of others. I want to thank you all for your patience and time, and would now like to conclude with a recitation of the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend. At this time, if you do have questions for Reverend, please feel free to enter those questions into the chat box, and we will relay those to Reverend Kalu. I do have a couple of questions, Reverend. It seems that the world is so divided, and it's difficult to find opportunities where we can have a civil conversation on issues of importance. And sometimes we find these differences within our own Sanghas. So how can we better create harmony in our Sanghas through empathy and respect?
I always say that, to see ourselves in others is very important. That, that person in front of me is no different from what I am really, because we have the same the nature. Yeah, We do have differences as human beings, but rather than focusing on those differences, we focus on what unites us. We have common ground. Yeah. I know it's difficult sometimes, because we all have different personalities, but that's how I do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Reverend. A related question, and this is something you spoke to in your message. Sometimes we feel frustrated when we encounter what we perceive as arrogance, and seeking to be empathetic and respectful under these circumstances, just at a human level, is a real challenge. From a Shin Buddhist standpoint, how can we better overcome these negative feelings?
Yeah, when dealing with arrogance, key to dealing with that problem is, the reason why that person is behaving like that. Sometimes, our perception could be deceiving us as well. We may think that the person is arrogant, but in reality, he isn't. Yeah, or he's not trying to. So we have to understand, if he's disagreeable to me, the way he's behaving, why is that? Is it the way he talks, the way he uses his words, and so on? Yeah. So that's how I would look at it, and how I deal with it. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Reverend. A very important message. Are there any other questions at this time? Okay, I think I don't see any questions. So again, thank you, Reverend Kalu, for your message. And we'll take a break now, and we'll start again at 7:30. Our next speaker will be Reverend Tomi Oka. So thank you, and please rejoin us at about 7:30.
Evening and welcome back. Thank you very much for your patience. My name is Dean Sakamoto, and I will be your moderator for the second half of tonight's Dharma session. Before we start the second half, just before the break, we received a few questions, and I would like to take the opportunity now to read the questions and have Reverend Kalu address the questions. Okay, so the first question is there a Jodo Shinshu take on forgiveness that may work for our tradition? For example, not absolving another for their misdeeds, but making peace in our own heart with another's actions.
So the question is there a Jodashinsha take on forgiveness that may work for our tradition? Okay, that example I cited about forgiveness, quote unquote, that is actually on the supramundane level, on the enlightenment level, meaning that forgiveness is always essential for us as Buddhists, no matter what, on the human level, that is, we should always forgive. But ultimately, The meaning of that is one's action is what really matters. That, when we say on the enlightened level, we say, well, I forgive you. That means that person made a mistake or, made an error. He was wrong. But that's not the case. Our actions are wrong, but, people are people. Buddha nature is the same. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question. I know it's not a complete one, but
Okay, thank you. The second question is, we have another one. I never thought about forgiveness as not being part of Buddhism. How does one explain this nuance in a very dualistic environment?
again, that is, when we say forgiveness, that is being dualistic, yeah, because we're dealing with on the human level, yeah. But ultimately, when on the level of Buddhahood, there is no such thing. There is neither bad or good. Duality is erased. So in our samsaric existence, in our dualistic world, yeah, we have to forgive. We think like regular human beings that we are. Yeah, we cannot possibly, think like Buddhas. Not in this state. No. Okay. So forgiveness is essential while we're here on the human level. But ultimately, when we attain enlightenment, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Okay, thank you very much, Reverend Kalu, for being our speaker for the first half. We will begin the second half of the session. I will introduce our speaker, and after the Dharma talk, there will be a question and answer session. During the Dharma talk, if you have any questions for the speaker, please type your question in the YouTube chat. Reverend Satoshi Ka Imipono Tomioka was born in Shimae, southern part of Japan. He majored in intercultural communication at Ryukoku University, and he received his MA in Shin Buddhism literature. His first assignment was at Honpa Hongwanji Betsuin in Honolulu from 2013 to 2017. And he is now the current resident minister of Puna Hongwanji Buddhist Temple on the Big Island. Welcome, Reverend Tomioka, and you may begin your Dharma talk.
Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha. Ohakako, everyone. I want to say thank you to Reverend Kevin Kuniki for having me for Buddhist Study Center Summer Dharmathon. It is my honor to share the joy of Nembutsu with you tonight. So again, the theme and the slogan of our Honpa Hongwanji Mission Hawaii Buddhist organization is building healthy Sanghas, nurturing empathy and respect. So today, with you and me, I want to think of this, with this question, with having this question for throughout this message. The question is, who builds and nurtures? As we listened to yesterday, Bishop Matsumoto and Reverend Kaufman, also Reverend Kalu, we are hearing messages about based on this slogan. And today also again, think about this question as you listen to message. I want to share one story with you. This is a story I heard when I was in Honolulu by the Kumuhula. So this was a question about her story when people are concerned about their islands getting polluted. So we listened to her message. And then Kumuhula, she said in this way, I don't care about the land, but I care about the people. When she said in this way, I was, kind of so shocked. What? You don't care about the land, but the people? What do you mean? And she continued. She said, if I care for the people with loving kindness, people will care for our land with loving kindness. And care for the people who care for the land. It's like mind-blowing for me. Wow, it is a different perspective. Of course, it doesn't mean we don't take care of the land, but what she's saying is we get to care for our own people with loving kindness, education, information, so that they can realize, we get to take care of our land. We cannot waste things, and then people will love the land. Yeah. So no matter how much we try to protect the land, ocean, nature, if people don't change, nothing can change. But if person change, awaken to something, our action will be changing to care for the land. So we can apply this idea for our own Sangha too. Yeah? So Sangha is not just a simply group or community of the temple of the Buddhist people or people who enjoy the Dharma. But Sangha is truly, you and me. Sangha is me. Sangha is you. So therefore, care for the members and the friends who care for the Sangha. Like Kumuhula mentioned, if we care for the people, the members and the friends of the Sangha will care for our own Sangha. So again, the point of question is, so building healthy Sanghas, nurturing empathy and then respect. We try to nurture empathy and then respect, and so we can building healthy Sanghas. So again, question, like this gentleman. So who builds and nurtures? So ministers or members? Who builds and then nurtures? Yeah. I have one joke. I like jokes. So, what do you call a fish without an eye? You get it? What do you call a fish without an eye? Yeah. So, what do you call a fish without an eye? Anybody? You can post to YouTube chat or you can say it. Maybe I want to hear. Yeah. But the answer is, you get it? Answer is fish. You get it? Yeah. Fish is spelled is F-I-S-H without an I of I. Yeah. Fish. You get it? Yeah. So of course, in our English language, we have those A to Z, and then we do have I. Like my name, Tomioka, you can see I. But without I, my name of Tomioka becomes Tomoka, like a different name in first name, like Tomoka. So even in our English language, of course, we need I. So then how about in Buddhism? Yeah, of course, in Buddhism too, I am here, you are there. I chant, I listen, I practice, I meditate, I be mindful, I forgive, I am patient, I exist. Yeah, I is important. This I is a being or subject. Therefore, enlightenment will listen to teachings. But at the same time, how do I look like in Buddha's eyes? How Buddhism defines this I in Buddha's eyes? That is, we need I, but this I is the fundamental cause of struggles. Yeah, we need I'm here, this self, but this self is the fundamental cause of struggles. So some of you may know, but last year, finally, I got married. So now, when I came to Hawaii 2013, I was 25, the youngest minister, and then I may say the most handsome minister, maybe even now, up to you. But every time when I'm meeting people first time, the question they ask me was, "Oh, Reverend, you look so young. How old you are?" And I say, "Oh, I'm now 25. And next question they asked me was, "Reverend, are you married?" And then what I replied was, "Well, I'm still available." Yeah. But now I may have to say I'm taken or not available. But anyway, I got married to my wife. However, due to the COVID-19 situation or her working situation, after marriage for 1 year, she was in Honolulu. I was on the Big Island, so long distance relationship. But finally, in the beginning of the August, my wife moved to Puna Hongwanji Big Island. Yeah, so that as you can see the picture, we are like a so happy life. However, on that night, when she moved to Puna Hongwanji, on that night we had an argument. We kind of argument and then so frustrated. Yeah, simply, I was the master of my life. I was the king of my life, for more than 33 years. I was single for 7 years in Hawaii. So I have my own ways to put things in this way, to do in that way. So my own style, my own ways, Of course, my wife, my spouse, she also, of course, has her own ways, how she does this, do that. Of course, then, if there are more than 2 people at one place, of course, there is a potential possibility of argument or conflict or harmony. On the first night, we ended up having an argument because this is my way, but she shows different way. So then I realized, this I is so strong, which can be said in this way, like this way. So now we had an argument. So why, again, depending on situation, convenience, sometimes so happy spouse, but sometimes depending on situation, convenience, we do have an argument. That's showing this Imipono Tomioka, this is selfish, ego, anger, worries, struggles, me first, And the same as my spouse or wife, So therefore, we can see we are conflict or argument because we think me first. So I am the person who is struggling because of one's human nature while striving to live a happy life, I just want to have a happy and peace, just a peaceful life. That's my purpose. However, because of that, my human being nature, somehow struggles, difficulties comes in, not because of others or that. Outside things is only condition, but Buddhism defines the fundamental cause is I do have it inside of me. So then with this idea again, this question, who builds healthy sanghas and nurtures empathy and respect? what we can say is it's not me, but Amida Buddha. Yeah? Because if I'm the one who build and then nurture, what kind of empathy, respect, or healthy Sangha do I have? It's not perfect there because I myself already contains, unfortunately, I have to admit, mind of anger, mind of jealousy, mind of frustration, mind of worries, depression, concerns. Yeah? If I create or nurture empathy or respect using such a my nature, what comes out is also not perfect. Yeah? Even though I cannot build a healthy sanghas using my power. Therefore, it's not to me, but Amida Buddha. Even before COVID-19, but after COVID-19 situation, pandemic, don't you think we listen to this word, or you may also use this word? Don't you think this word? I'm thinking of you. Don't you think this word truly gave us the inner peace or comfort? Yeah, due to social distance or airplane restrictions. Yeah, could be we may have family members or friends or special occasions, but we couldn't do that. Neighbor island or mainland, or we couldn't visit. Yeah, even to something special event, we couldn't be there. Then we try to express, yeah, I'm thinking of you. Our love is truly exists beyond the space and then time. We have those feelings, yeah. But when you see this word, I'm thinking of you, yeah. I'm thinking of you. Do you notice something? I'm thinking of you. Again, you can maybe put into chat, yeah. But I'm thinking of you. If we take a look deeply, we can find I'm as subject, thinking of you, object there. Subject is I, thinking of you, object. There is distinction, yeah? I think of you. This is our human love or human empathy or compassion, yeah? We do have no matter how we try to love and then cherish and then thinking of each other, we do have this distinction of I, you, she, they, them, him. Yeah. So, for example, if you imagine your loved ones, or even could be today, if you are watching this message with somebody, your friends or spouse or child, brother, sister, can you take your time to look at them? Don't be shy. If you look at them, now, can you tell what they are thinking now? Can you tell what the person you are looking at now is thinking? Maybe you can guess, but maybe we cannot know exactly what this person is thinking. Yeah? Even this person may be your spouse for many years. Then we may think, I know everything about you. But when we think about, even you, even my child, even my friends, I cannot know exactly what you're going through or thinking. Yeah. So especially if our loved one is in terminal care or hospital on a bed, yeah, when we see their pains, struggles, and then suffering in their eyes, how do we feel? Yeah, we feel so sad, so sorry, and then we want to do something, yeah? That is a moment we will realize, I cannot take your place. I can see you are suffering and I feel I'm also suffering, but that is not truly the same exact suffering, yeah? Maybe we don't have to feel exactly the same, but there's a distinction. Then we often be aware. The more, if we have the person we love deeply, we come to realize, I cannot take your place, and you cannot take my place. So yeah, what if like a doctor come to the room and then saying, hey, I found the medicine, or this like a machine. This medicinal machine has a power and then function to transfer the pains of your loved one to you. Do you want to use that machine? To myself, yeah, if my spouse is in her suffering, I have to think to myself, of course, now she's my everything. I can do anything for her. But if I can take over her suffering or pains, I think one thing can be, if I receive her suffering, now she will be worried about me, concerned of me. So it's never ending. What they're showing is again, there is a distinction of I and then you in my empathy or respect or compassion. Yeah. So therefore, in Buddhism teaching, even to our Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu Hongwanji tradition, we have this as three treasures. Yeah. The Buddha, Dharma, and then Sangha as our three treasures. We say, I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. We say this. We say this because we know I cannot rely on this myself. Yeah? We never say at the Sunday service or other occasion, we never say like, I go to myself for guidance. I go to my knowledge for my guidance. I go to my experience for my guidance. We don't say, we say, I go to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha for guidance, which showing I need assistance or guidance beyond myself. Yeah. So therefore, from the three treasures, our founder, Shinran Shoni, also realized from the three treasures, through the countless teachings, what Shinran Shoni found was only truly Amida Buddha's primal vow. This Amida Buddha's primal vow exists to guide me, to save me, to embrace me from the suffering. Absolute liberation from struggles. 100% from Amida Buddha. Nothing is required from me. Only through the other power of Buddha's compassion and wisdom. So this year, Amida Buddha's primal vow is mind of non-distinction, mind of love, mind of compassion, mind of wisdom, highest virtue. Yeah, totally different from my mind. Yeah, my mind is I, my, me, mine. Make a distinction or judgment, or my feeling and the emotion changing, depending again situation, convenience. But this Buddha's mind is totally beyond such a human level, yet reaching out to me. So therefore, this name is the name Namo Amida Butsu that embodies all necessary things for enlightenment in the Pure Land. Shinran Shoni, our founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, he's the one tried to become a Buddha, attain enlightenment, tried to did his best, practice with intention efforts to be freed from struggles. However, the more he practiced, what he found was he couldn't do that. No way for him to become a Buddha, attain enlightenment by his power, because his mind is always contains I, my, me, mine, mind. That was a moment instead of Shinran Shoni try to go to the Pure Land or try to make effort to be born to attain enlightenment. Instead of that, from Amida Buddha, the enlightenment of Namo Amida Butsu, reaching out to our life as Namo Amida Butsu calling, come as you are, I shall embrace you. That is a moment of mind of awakening when I deeply realize this calling voice of Namo Amida Butsu. That is a occasion, moment. Indeed, deeply, I'm enabled to see my human being nature. At the same time, I'm now no more lonely. Now I truly receive Namo Amida Butsu as my guidance, forever the shelter, refuge. In 2019, before COVID-19, I think truly before coronavirus pandemic, as the Hongwanji Buddhist temple, we had a chance to take a Nimbus tour to Japan. So we went to Hiroshima, Osaka, Kyoto, and then my hometown Shimane. So we had about 20 to 25 people in our group. And then me and myself, I was the second youngest in the group. Other people is like in their 70s or 80s. I was so you can imagine what I had in my mind. We had about a 10 days tour, 10 days in our tour. On the tour, what I had in my mind was, we will return to Hawaii without any injuries. No one falling down, no one get injured. No injuries. Okay, we'll return to Hawaii without any injuries. So therefore, for 10 days tour, what I did or what I tried to do was, I tried to make sure looking behind and then made sure everyone was okay. So I was like one of the tour conductors, tried to make sure people were following me, people are not getting lost, people know where to go. Some people can walk easily, some people may take their time to walk. So I have to make sure often looking back, you're okay, follow me, don't fall down. So I was kind of such a position I was doing. And then one day, after having a one-day tour, when we returned to hotel, this happened. A member gave me a can of juice and then said, "Thank you for watching over us, but I was worried if you were to fall down." That was a moment to me. Again, another blowing my mind. I thought I was the one who is a leader and a minister. I want to make sure I'm protecting you, I'm watching you, I'm worried about you, I'm thinking of you, be careful, be safe, follow me. You are in my embrace, you are under my watch. Come follow me. I thought that was me. But the truth was, the members, they were thinking of me. When they see I'm like often looking back behind, they were really concerned, worried. "Oh, Reverend, don't do that. I'm so worried about you. Please be careful." I was in their embrace. Members, they are watching me and then thinking of me and then loving me. And that was again I may say shame on me, such a arrogant. "I'm doing for you. Follow me. I'm good. I can help you. I can protect you." Such a arrogance of my pride, my ego was actually embraced in members' gentleness, kindness. In Hongwanji statue of the Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Butsu, basically, of course, Amida Buddha is facing to us. Then we can imagine across the state of Hawaii in the world, so many people worship or reciting Namo Amida Butsu in front of Amida Buddha. Each person, like I have struggles or something they want to say, something, of course, happy thing or something so joyful thing, also something pains or suffering. They have it. Amida Buddha is always truly receiving. each person, every single person. Amida Buddha is facing as if you are my precious child. I know you are suffering. Exactly. I'm with you. Let's start again. Yeah. Totally Amida Buddha saying, in my embrace, no one left behind. And then to explain such a Buddha's compassion of no one left behind, some statue, they like not like facing to you, but like looking behind. Yeah, the looking behind means Amida Buddha tried to again additionally make sure truly in my embrace no one left behind. This is a Buddha's great compassion, yeah? Receiving and then knowing each person's situation, suffering, peace, happiness, everything as it is, and then saying, yeah, truly, your happiness is my happiness, your suffering is my suffering. No worry, I'll be with you. Doing that plus, make sure no one left behind. That is a Buddha's promise vow, which is Namo Amida Butsu. Come as you are. I shall embrace you. I shall never, ever let you go alone. I shall embrace you. That is a gentle and then compassionate calling voice of Namo Amida Butsu. To myself again, when I hear that voice here, I find comfort and then peace within me. But sometimes people say, okay, so Amida Buddha is saying, come as you are, I shall save you as you are. Does that mean I can do anything what I want to do? Or I can behave anything, even something bad? Not in that way. Yeah? When we say Namo Amida, when Amida Buddha calling to us is showing, I love you because I worry about you. I worry about you because I love you. This is a both here. When Buddha say, I love you, we find comfort and then peace. I'm in Buddha's embrace. At the same time, there is Buddha's tears. I'm worried about you. Therefore, I worried about you because I love you. I love you because I worry about you. I worry about you because I love you. When we realize somebody is crying, have tears in their eyes because of my action behavior, we cannot justify our action, yeah? We feel so sorry and then sad, yet this nature does not change. Therefore, Amida Buddha calling, no worries, I shall embrace you as you are. That gives me the reflection, being humble. And then again, together we are now in that embrace here. Even though this person I feel not easy to get along with, will have a different opinion all the time, is also in this Buddha's embrace. Together we are embraced. When we see in this way, if we can see people not through my eyes, because my eyes have my perception, my mind of judgment, we cannot see people exactly as they are. But through the eyes of Buddha, me, she, he, them, we are together same people who is fighting for something small, fighting in their life. They have a pains like I do, struggle, they are going through something. If we can see, if we can find myself in you, if you find yourself in me, how could we hurting each other? Yeah, if we see, I find me in you, you find you in me. Hey, instead of hurting or having argument each other, let's start again with guided by Buddha's compassion and wisdom. Yeah. So again, it's not me, but Namo Amida Butsu is building healthy Sangha, nurturing empathy and then respect. Again, this my Satoshi Tomioka, again today after this session, I'll go to my parsonage and having a dinner. Now I feel maybe happy, but if something happened between me and then my spouse, this my feeling of peace immediately change. So I cannot rely on to nurture my empathy and then respect, but guided by Namo Amida Butsu is truly my guidance, giving me the reflection and then shelter. My mind will be changing, but this shelter, refuge, guidance is my home. When I return to here, it giving me my true nature and then path of Nembutsu. This is a embrace of Amida Buddha. As a final conclusion, Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, said in this way: seeing as sentient beings of the Nembutsu throughout the worlds, countless as particles in the 10 quarters, the Buddha grasps and never abandons them, and therefore is named Amida. And he put the notes: grasp, sesshu, once grasped, one is never abandoned. Setsu means to pursue and then grasp, the one who seeks to run away. Setsu means to take in. Shu means to receive and then embrace. This is Amida Buddha's compassion for the people who in this world, for the people who awaken to Nembutsu, mind of awakening to Buddha's compassion, wisdom. Buddha truly grasps, embrace, and then saying, I shall never ever let you go alone. This is a Buddha's compassion I really receive and enjoy and appreciate. Indeed, I'm in Buddha's embrace. Therefore, guided by this Buddha's compassion and wisdom, we will be guided to do what we can do, not using my human power, effort, or knowledge, but guided by Amida Buddha's great compassion and great wisdom, which is Namo Amida Butsu. Please put your hand together in Gassho. Let us recite the name of Amida Buddha together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Naman Dobu, Naman Dobu, Naman.
Well, thank you, Reverend Tomioka, for your wonderful message. We will now begin the question and answer session. And if you have any question, please put it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, we'll take just a few moments to see if anybody have any questions. Reverend, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to make a comment was that I really enjoyed your, not only your presentation, but it was a little bit different. And it's good to listen to all the different perspective, and I even enjoyed the graphics. But one thing that I wanted to mention was the theme of building healthy sanghas and nurturers, and about empathy and respect. And as a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, I feel very fortunate with gratitude and appreciation to being able to listen to the Dharma and learn from it. And when you think about what's going on, in the world today, and especially, like yesterday when we had the session, we talked about like COVID-19 and people having opposing views, yeah. And sometimes I think that maybe it should be like building healthy communities, yeah, and nurturing empathy and respect. And I think, I don't know how as us as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists can make an impact to this, because I when I watch the news, it's very disappointing sometimes where you see people protesting and even resorting to violence, which is very sad. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dean, for sharing your comments. Thank you. It could be maybe as for Reverend Kalu's session, there is a question about the forgiveness, about forgive. And then one thing, I don't remember who said, but one of the saying about forgiveness was to forgive or not is to see things on the outside. But if the eyes is turned into inward, we realize I am forgiven by others. So that is I think showing the Jodo Shinshu perspective. We often think, shall we forgive this person, or shall I show my compassion to others, even this person may not deserve? It's showing on the outside here. I think like I'm a kind of arrogant or I'm right. Why you are bad? But if the eyes is turned to inwardly, we realize actually other person is forgiving me. Actually, other person is patient with me. We often can realize how much I'm worried about you, how much I'm be patient with you, but actually other person is doing same thing. So one thing can be we get to, as a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist or Sangha, we can see before pointing finger to others. How about truly myself? And actually, I'm the one, again, like my story of the tour in Japan. Actually, I am other person's embrace. If we can see in that way, it builds not just pointing finger to each other, but we can have a conversation for harmony, not as opponents, but as a fellow person in the embrace of compassion. That is what I think.
Okay, thank you very much. We can wait a little bit more because somebody may have some last minute comments. Okay, well, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this evening's Dharma session, and we hope you enjoyed them. If you have any further questions, please direct them to the Buddhist Study Center at kwong@honpahai.org. That's KWONG @HONPAHI.org. kwong@honpahai.org. And your question will be forwarded to the minister. Stay tuned for tomorrow's session with Reverend Higa and Reverend Kiyohara, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Good night, and once again, thank you for attending tonight's Dharma sessions.